The next lesson for exponents is some more rules. And this should be on page 40, the left-hand side. Should have glued in these notes on page 40 on the left-hand side. Okay, first thing we're going to do is we're going to fill out some of just the notes that go with this, the rule. And it uses the letter A and B in the parentheses there. So find that on your paper. And you're going to take this exponent, and we're going to do like distributive property with it. We're going to distribute it to everything that's inside that parentheses. So it's going to be a to the m power times b to the m power. Same thing with the next one. It's a fraction, but we're going to take that parenthesis, that exponent, and distribute it to everything that's inside the parentheses. So it's going to be a to the m power over b to the m power. Okay, so now we're going to use these with real numbers. So if you look at number 3, we've got our 2 on the outside of our parentheses. That's our exponent. And we're going to distribute it to everything inside that parentheses, including the negative sign. Okay, so what we talked about before was a negative and a negative is a positive. Our exponent is even, so our answer is going to be positive. So I'm going to put a positive here. I'm not going to worry about the negative anymore. We've already taken care of that in our head. Okay, the next part is going to be 6 to the second power times 5 to the second power. So 6 times 6 is 36 times 5 times 5 is 25. And if you go through that, you can multiply it to get the answer of positive 900. Okay, and I do realize that some of you can recognize that you could also multiply negative 6 times 5 to get negative 30 and then square that and you get the same answer. But using the exponent rules, we distribute the exponent of 2 to all that's inside there and then multiply those two answers together. But both ways work. Okay, the next one, number 4, you're going to take that exponent of 5, distribute it to everything that's inside that parentheses, including the negative. And we've talked about it before. If it's a even and you're trying to just multiply a negative, it's going to be positive. If it's odd, it's going to be a negative. So this 5 is an odd exponent. So I know my answer is going to end up being a negative. So I'm going to just not worry about the sign anymore. And now I'm going to write 2 to the 5th power times w to the 5th power. Okay, and if I go through and I do 5 times 5, or 5 times 5, 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is 8, times 2 is 16, times 2 is 32. So I've got negative 32, negative 32, w to the 5th power. Okay, next one. We've got a fraction. And the same thing here, we're going to distribute everything that's inside that fraction to the 3rd power. The 4, the 2, the y. Okay, we'll take care of the top first. So we got 4 to the 3rd power. And now we've got a power to power with the x. So 2 times 3 is 6. And now don't forget there's an invisible 1 by this y. So it's 3 times 1, and it's going to be x to, or y to the 3rd power. Okay, that's the top. Now we're going to, and I'll change my color, we're going to distribute the 3. Let me find my color. Okay, we're going to distribute this 3 to the 2 at the bottom, and we're going to distribute that 3 to the x at the bottom. So it's going to be 2 to the 3rd power, and it's going to be x to the 3rd power. Okay, and I'm going to leave it like this right now. Tomorrow's lesson, or the next lesson in the series, is going to show us how to simplify a problem like this. But for right now, we'll just go ahead and leave it and not go through and multiply everything out. Okay, so now stop the lesson, go and try C by yourself, D by yourself, and E by yourself. Then come back to the lesson and check to see if you got the right answers. Okay, so now, hopefully you've tried these on your own. you're going to go through and you're going to distribute the 2 to the 7. So I've got 7 squared. You're going to distribute the 2 to the a. So we have a squared. And then you're going to distribute the 2 to the 4. And this one's going to be power to power, so b to the 8th. So now we're going to go ahead and simplify it a little bit because this is pretty easy. 7 times 7 is 49. 49, a to the 2nd, and b to the 8th. Okay, the next one, letter D. Again, we're going to distribute the 5, the exponent that's 5. Let me find my cursor. Okay, where is it at? It's right there. Right here. Okay, so now we're going to take 5 and multiply 5 with the 4, so it's going to be x to the 20th. We're going to multiply 5 with the 2. Let me see if I can find it this morning. So 5 with the 2, it's going to be y to the 10th. And then it's going to be over, and you put 5 with the z, so 5 with the z, so it's z to the, let me make it a z. Made it an s. There we go. Z to the 5th. Okay, and we're just going to leave it like that. That's your answer. Hopefully you did well with those two. The final one, I'll change my color one more time. Okay, everything on the top of the fraction and everything on the bottom of the fraction needs to be distributed with the 3. So 3 is going to go with the 9, 3 is going to go with the 6, 3 is going to go with the 4, 3 is going to go with the 3 down here, 3 is going to go with the 4, and 3 is going to go with the y, the 1 on the y. So now we have 9 to the 3rd. We have x in its power to power. 6 times 3 is 18. And then we have y to the 4 times 3 is 12. And then we've got 3 times with the 3. 3 with the 4, so it's x to the 12th. And then 3 with the y, so y to the 3rd. And again, there's a way to simplify this. We're going to talk about that in the next lesson, so we're just going to leave it in that form for today. Okay, now you're ready for the lesson that you're going to do next.